going on? You're now tuned in to the PVD Horror Podcast. I'm Brandon, and I'm joined by my co-host Dave. This is our monthly recap episode. We're focusing on April, and we're officially at the halfway point to Halloween. We're already there, man. This is crazy.
It's crazy. Feels like it was just yesterday that we had last Halloween.
Yeah, fucking April just flew by fast, man.
Yeah, it
So,
did. If you like all things horror and want to get the best horror news, interviews, and reviews,
like, subscribe, and ring that bell to follow us and satisfy all your horror needs. What you been up to?
um, not a whole lot of horror stuff, unfortunately. I feel like my horror highlight this month has actually been going to see Abigail, and that's where it kind of capped off. So I've been super busy and have not had a chance to
It
dabble too
wasn't.
much and stuff.
It wasn't just Abigail. We seen the First Omen also.
Doesn't that feel like that was last month?
Yeah, it did because everything just was just like grouped in together because it was like right at the top of the month. It was like the
Yeah,
5th. And
yeah.
so like even Immaculate came out too. And that came out March 22nd. But we're also going to touch on that too because it was just like right at the end of the month, you know? So
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It felt like everything kind of came out this month, and I don't know, it was a good month for horror,
it
but
definitely was.
I wasn't able to keep up with the streaming stuff as much, I guess. There was a
Okay.
lot of releases on streaming. So
Yeah, sure it was.
how
Um
about you? Did you catch up on any of those or get to see
yeah,
anything good?
I caught up on basically everything.
Okay.
So it'll be a good episode to talk about some shit. So,
I see you
but
got a new hat.
I did. I got a new hat. The First Omen. Shout out to Showcase Cinemas. You know, that was a cool little giveaway thing that we had set up for everyone. That was cool that we were able to run that for the month of April also. So
Yep. Yep.
that was fun. Um, but yeah, man, let's just get into this episode and just I want to start off by, starting us off with the Mahoning drive-in
Yeah.
situation that happened. So I want you to touch on this because you were able to go down to the drive-in a few times. So just talk about your experience.
It's such a cool place. They really just love the genre, and they're open to like the types of events they do there. I think are kind of what inspire anyone who wants to do themed horror events or
Yeah.
genre events. I mean, they really like just know how to do it, and they're so accepting and cool. So the passing of Jeff Maddox is like sad. And I know that they had to cancel a few things recently, and they're kind
Yeah.
of rescheduling to kind of, I guess, kind of regroup, I guess, in a way, and kind of figure out, their direction going forward. Hopefully they continue in his honor to do, the things that everyone loves. But like, if you ever look at their schedule of movies and events that they have going on, I was always so jealous to,
Yeah.
see what they have, and I wish it was closer. It's something special.
Yeah. It's been cool because, like a lot of our horror community followers and stuff from, Instagram, you see everyone going down there, dressed up and having fun and just
Yeah.
going to all these killer events. And even some of our guests that we had on the podcast, some of the guys that made movies, like Heebie Jeebies
Yeah. Yeah.
TV,
Yeah.
those guys that went down for VHS Fest. So definitely even Joe Bob,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
all those events and stuff there that kicked off, like you said, they definitely represent it for the genre and it definitely gonna miss Jeff, so I seen a lot of people, saying take as much time as you want. Like people aren't upset that, a lot of the events have been canceled or
Hmm.
postponed. So it's cool definitely to see stuff like that. So for everybody that had known Jeff personally, we're with you, behind you, and we hope everything will be well for you guys.
It's
So
it's pretty cool to be think about that. Like you have this drive-in that has basically become known, throughout the United States because
yeah,
of horror events, and like to leave that like impact on a community of people, and just, to be that important that people care
yep,
is pretty amazing. Like I think that's the kind of the goal for all of us, is to like do something that leaves an impact and actually like people care about. And when you go, hopefully it continues and you've made some positive impact for some people. And I think, well, the Mahoning definitely made, I think people even, didn't someone get married there? Wasn't something crazy
Yeah,
like that? Like people care about this place. And that's because of him. So that's awesome.
exactly. Yeah. So
So yeah, on to some more uplifting. I guess uplifting news is we finally had our first real horror month, right?
yeah, because we talked about this, January and February kicking off with, some bad theater experiences. Well,
Crazy to turn it around so much.
yeah, it's halfway to Halloween,
Yeah.
so I think they were waiting for that. So first we got Immaculate.
Yep.
Um, you're a big fan of this
I
film.
was. I loved it. I thought Sydney Sweeney was great. I thought
Yeah.
that the film itself was effective. I know I've heard some backlash about it, but ultimately, I mean, it's super daring. This, the content and the way it's presented is like, there's this video of her watching it with two, I think it was two pastors or two reverends. They're both females, and she's
Mm,
in a church watching it with them. And I thought like, even like doing things like that is kind of genius to kind of like show like how, this movie really doesn't like hold back.
yeah.
I had no complaints with it. I had a good time. I thought it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, same for me. I had a good time with it. And so for me, the experience was a little different because s- uh seeing her on screen, I only watched her on like Euphoria before.
Yeah.
So her character to me was just never much to it. You know what I mean? It was just like kind of like whatever, just that normal, blonde high school girl that, just a lot of people liked and stuff. And then her relationship issues would kind of go back and forth. So being able to see her jump into this role and just kind of like kill it
Yeah.
definitely changed the way that I view the way that that her as an actor, because there was some things that I heard about the film too, because like when she jumped on to it for the script, she had held on to this and then she actually had done a lot of the production stuff in the back trying to get everything done. And I guess the script was originally set to be like in a high school setting.
Oh,
And yeah, so they changed it. And so I thought that was cool because like I think this whole thing is like being a nun and everything. I don't think it was set up to be that way at first. It was
well,
supposed to just be like something in high school or something. And I think I'm glad they went that way because it
yeah.
had taken her out of that element, because it would have just put her right back in, oh, like this is
Euphoria.
Euphoria again, you
Yeah.
know? So it was
Yeah.
cool. I had a good time watching this film. So
I'm gonna ask people like when you watch this, just watch it for what it is.
yeah,
Like I heard some people giving some thoughts about like, Sydney Sweeney's kind of become like over sexualized lately.
yeah,
I know she did that romantic comedy. I caught part of that, and it's like, the whole time she's basically wearing like skimpy clothes, and
yeah.
then she goes on SNL and they were kind of like that was a big focal point, was like how, her body and stuff like that. And I
Hmm.
get it. And like even in this film, I guess people were like, of course, there's a scene where I don't even remember seeing her boobs in this movie. So it's like when someone said that, I was like, I don't even know that you
Oh,
did.
well, it kind of like zoomed into it a little bit, like her chest area, one of
Yeah,
the
all
first
right.
time.
Was it? Yeah,
No,
why?
but it
Like,
didn't show anything
yeah,
though.
that's what I thought, and I was like, I think people are just kind of like, I don't know, looking
Yeah,
for a reason to kind of have like some kind of backlash about it. But like, just if you liked the next movie we're going to talk about, I feel like there's no reason to not also be open minded about Immaculate, because in the
yeah,
end, they're kind of very
yeah,
similar.
they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, just from Euphoria, that build up and everything kind of just gave her that image of like that's all she can do. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
That
like
final scene too is like
oh no, yeah,
insane.
definitely. So I had a good time for it. So I definitely recommend it. It's now you can get it on VOD and everything. It's
Yeah.
so definitely check it out if you miss it in the theaters. But yeah, the next film, man, right there, right in the
Yeah.
hat,
Yeah. The
The
First
First Omen,
Omen. That
that
was
that dropped
awesome.
on April 5th. We were able to go check that out together.
Yep. Yep. That was such a good film. like
Yeah.
like open to close immediately had me hooked.
Hmm.
I love the aesthetic. I love the grittiness of the film to make it look like it was like it's from that time period, and you actually kind of don't even, you gotta get lost in the film almost, and you like forget that this is like a new film, and it's not something from the 70s that like was filmed right before the
Yeah.
actual Omen. It's really well made,
Yeah.
like.
The vibe was dope, you know. Like going into it, it was cool because it's like, all right, the first Omen, like at first, like, you didn't think it was gonna just be this prequel. You thought it was gonna be its own story and everything like that. So it was cool being able to just go in there and then just like enjoy this film because it already had so much backlash on it. You know, people already hating on it, saying, why are they doing this? Why are they
Yeah.
remaking it? Why are they doing that? So like yeah, you just gotta go into things open-minded, and just enjoy the film because like when I came out of it, like we talked about it and we were just like, all right, this is how it was supposed to be done, and they
Yep.
did it, you know. So
It's always a good feeling when you leave the film and there's like the movie's still kind of sitting with you. Like
yeah.
you're not able to just like immediately move away from it. And that's kind of how I felt when we were leaving there. It was like still sitting with me. I was still thinking about scenes. I wanted to talk about it. It was like it was such a good feeling. This is exactly what I want from a movie experience.
Yeah.
And I have to say this because like I know people don't want to hear about stuff like this, but crazy. Two movies releasing, and I said this to you already, but like two movies releasing within the span of like what was it, a
A
week or
week.
2 week? It
A
was a
week.
week, and they're both themed the same. Like it's
Hmm.
both religious themes, and it's about like woman's choice over their body and stuff like that. But for like the timing, because it also fits into like some recent news with
Yeah.
like abortion laws and stuff like that. I thought it was like the craziest timing for these movies to come out. Super fitting, very bold with their opinions and like how they
Hmm.
portray their views on that very like controversial topic. Um, this feels like that thing I always talk about where like certain movies come out to reflect like what's going on in the times, and
Yeah.
we're experiencing that right now. And another crazy thing that I was thinking about is like this 70s revival that's been happening.
Hmm.
Like I know like 70s style clothes and fashion is kind of like influencing clothes, like it's like 70s 90s mix these days. But like also we just had Late Night with the Devil, which is super
Yeah.
70s aesthetic. I can't say it. And then the First Omen comes out, and that's very 70s. So it's like a little bit of a revival of like 70s type horror, which is cool because the 70s are a time period that doesn't get a lot of love.
Nah, sure doesn't. You know,
So
so
kind of interesting.
yeah. So it's definitely like you said, it's cool for them to go back and reflect on everything that happened in the 70s and like showcase it to like a lot of kids that missed it because
Yeah.
even going into it, like my kids were kind of like they know what the Omen was, but they weren't really like hooked to it. So you know, they were like, "Oh, is it like this movie, that movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's this movie right here." And so, they wanted to see it, but the showings are now a little bit later. They don't have a lot of showings on now because they have so many movies in the theater.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of
So,
packed.
yeah, but it was
And so it's interesting because I'm sure it's going to like influence a lot of people to go back and watch the Omen films if they hadn't
hmm
already. Or if for me, I can say I've seen one. I'm almost positive I've seen two, but
Yep.
I think there's at least four plus the remake.
Yeah.
So and I noticed that the original four I think are streaming somewhere. I can't remember
Yeah. It
what
might be on
platform.
Peacock.
I think it's Peacock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that's cool that now like it's kind of shining a light to a franchise that's kind of overlooked. So
And then even how it ended, I wonder like if are they going to sit there and just say, "Okay, let's redo, the first one now," or are we just gonna leave it at that?
yeah,
And
it could go either way. So
I think that, even if they do remake the first one now, I would have no problem with it because I enjoyed this film.
yeah,
So if this movie was trash, I would be like, okay, and we're getting another one. It's kind of like The Exorcist, right now. Like they didn't do a good job on the first one, and it's supposed to be a trilogy. I don't want to see the second one. You know, I don't want to see the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah.
So it just kind of puts you in that situation where you're just like, what the fuck is going on, you know? But, you know, that this film came in with a bold, you know, quote and everything saying that this is the most terrifying film, you know. And so a lot of people kind of held that to it, saying that this wasn't terrifying and this and that. And because there was a lot of people that were probably like shocked like how well this film was, and
Hmm.
they don't wanna,
Yeah.
admit it. And so
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
because all
Yeah.
the shit they
Nobody.
were talking, and it's like now you got to double back on it because you weren't open-minded on it.
Right.
You just talk so much shit about it, and you're just like, yeah, well, it wasn't the most terrifying film ever
I said I
made.
don't like remakes. Prequels are fine, actually. I thought this was a remake. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have fun with that one,
Yep.
man. So
Yep. So I mean, we started the month off two great, very similar themed
yeah,
films. I forgot to ask you. You saw Godzilla versus Kong, right?
I
I
did.
I didn't get to see it. How was it?
I thought it was kind of it wasn't the greatest.
Okay.
It,
All
it
right.
it's kind of it takes you back to the last film, versus when they went against each other.
Yeah.
It's that same tone.
Which
I
I
think
had a lot of problems with that one. I
and we
liked
always
the
talk
monsters.
when
Yeah.
we always talk about that where it's not focused on them as much.
Yeah.
It's the story of more of the
Which,
people and stuff. So
if you're someone who likes the human storylines in monster films, then that's fine.
yeah,
For us, we always talk about how I wish there was just more of the monsters and less of the human storyline. But
yeah. And I had noticed that a lot of people also agreed to, they weren't really sold on, like the main villain of the film that Kong and Godzilla were going against. They felt that it could have been someone better, you know what I mean? And so I
Mhm.
definitely agree on that. Like good points of the film. It was definitely some cool stuff. I seen it in X Plus theater, so
Okay.
definitely like if you were going to check it out, that would be the way to check it out. But just because I'm not really a big Godzilla and King Kong fan anyway. You know what I mean? Like, but
Mhm.
I enjoy the movies. I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, those are my favorites. I'm not
Yeah.
a diehard fan. So I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, take my opinion on it." So, but for hardcore fans, for those films, I seen a lot of people were let down.
Okay. That's
So,
good to know.
you know, so that's just from me. So, but it
It,
was all right. I got a cool popcorn bucket and collector's stuff like that.
yes. Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
that from Showcase Cinemas. That was
Nice.
cool. So it wasn't bad. It was a good experience. Me and my daughter went to go check it out. So,
Yeah. That's what those films are. They're just about the experience, I think.
but it was cool because after the movie, there was some little kids in there running around. And then so he like came up to me, he goes, "What bucket did you get?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got this one." Because they were like sold out of Godzilla and King Kong. I had the the villain guy, and he
Oh,
was like,
okay.
"Oh man, I don't like that guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't like him either." He goes, "But do you see how tall he is?" And he wasn't really that tall in the movie. So he had a good. I asked him, I was like, "Oh, so what did you think about the movie?" And he was just going on and on, like running around. And
Should
his
have
little
interviewed
brother,
him.
yeah, and his little brother runs up to me. He goes, "Yeah, but I don't know. I like the last one better." So it was cool. So
Yeah, they're into it. That's good.
yeah,
Little
that's what it's
little
all
future
about.
monster films. Yeah, monster
Exactly,
fans.
exactly.
Um, on a more uplifting note, the Abigail came out with now
Yep.
what was that? A week or two ago?
Yeah,
I'm
about that.
totally
Yep.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
Um,
that.
yeah. So what were your thoughts about Abigail?
I had a good time. I had a good time. I liked it a lot. It was fun, like I miss movies like this, being able to go to the theater and just have a good time. Some laughs and and some,
Hmm.
good effects and everything like that. Good story. That's what it's all about. And so I had taken my daughter and my niece and they enjoyed it. They had a good
Yeah.
time. So what
It
about you?
was it was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, definitely.
I the preview didn't ever really do it for me. I was like, oh shit, I feel like I saw the whole movie in this preview to some extent. Like I get what it's all about. I feel like
Hmm.
I kind of was like, oh, why are they telling us that the girl's a vampire? I feel like that would have been a great surprise.
Yeah.
Um, but then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, there's so much to this movie that like to enjoy. I know it's made by the people, so that makes sense, but it felt so along the lines of Ready or Not. in
Yeah.
that kind of realm of like it's almost like a horror version of oh what's that the film like what is it, Glass Onion? You know
Oh, okay.
the like those like who done it. It's like it feels
Mm.
almost like you're in like this puzzle type location and there's like all this stuff going on. I just really enjoyed that. It was like a great experience.
Yeah.
I was it's in the film. I was like, oh damn, I was totally wrong. I was like pretty convinced I was going to be let down, but no,
Yeah.
it was
There's
awesome.
some good twist in there. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I like that. They're really good at that stuff.
yeah,
They
Radio Silence
they
killed it.
they have a formula that they are really good at. So I'm hoping I don't want them to like overdo it to the point where that becomes boring. But
Hmm.
like if they can release a film like this every now and then, I will be totally satisfied.
Yeah, it's kind of the same vibe, like we said, like Ready or Not. Like, we see the trailer and it's kind
Yep.
of just like, oh, just hide and go seek. But then it's
Yeah,
just like so much more layers to it. So,
exactly. They're good
uh,
at, you know what it is? They're good at character building and
yeah,
like, you don't have to like the character to still appreciate the character in the film. Like this film had a bunch of characters that like I don't know that I would percent like except for like I can't remember any of their names. The big like dumb guy, like I
yeah,
liked him.
yep.
But there's a couple that like you don't care for, but still like they're interesting and
No,
they're good.
but it was cool because in the film, like when Melissa started to go around and kind of like
Yeah.
analyze each character,
Yeah.
and then so it was like, okay, like you have those people that were they're able to do that, but then she had her own
Yeah.
past, you know what I mean? And then that guy called it out and was just like, yeah, don't ever call me out again, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, it
Like
is what it is.
that guy, the guy who plays like the ex-cop,
Mm-hmm.
you like mostly don't like him, but he's a very, very interesting character.
Oh,
So like
definitely.
you can't stop like watching him throughout the
Mm.
film and you're constantly sitting there like, oh, is he good? Is he just gonna be a prick to everybody at the end?
Yeah.
So it just kind of constantly has you like guessing each character and what their motives are and stuff.
Yeah, you can see like so much like, thought and everything that they put into the story because like even at times like it just reminded me of like the first, like even a few of the Resident Evil games, like the build up
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
his character kind of reminded me of like Wesker from Resident Evil,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
kind of like that same vibe. He goes in, he's like that detective agent guy, and but he has that side to him where it's just like he becomes shady and shit. So it's just like even like the end of the movie, and then like just how they put things together, like the puzzles of things, and just kind of like turning so the sunlight would bounce off and
Yeah.
things to kind of stay
Yeah.
safe. It was like it felt like a video game at times,
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it was
Yep.
cool. So I had fun with it, and like you said, each character they had their they had their role where they just kind of like definitely stood out where they had
Hmm.
that opportunity to take advantage of everything. Even I forgot the guy that passed away that was from Euphoria. He was in that film. Um
Angus, was it Angus? Is that his
yeah,
name?
Angus
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot his
Yeah.
last name, but yeah, so it was cool to see him in this film, because even with him how he got his role in Euphoria was just like it wasn't like he wanted to come in and just be like this actor and everything like that. And so he was just coming in and he's just like always himself. He's like his like authentic, just being
Yeah.
himself in these roles. And so, and then that's what the people loved about him. And so
Hmm.
to be able to see him cross over and like do this film, one of his last projects was cool. So,
Yeah. 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 That I mean, yeah, if you guys haven't seen First Omen, Immaculate, or Abigail,
hmm.
stop wasting time. Get to the theaters if they're still out there. Get them on VOD when they come out if you can't get to the theater to see it. But like all three of those films would be more enjoyed at a theater, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And also, Ready or Not was already kind of like thrown out there saying that they're gonna sit there and go with that. And if you paid attention to it, Radio Silence kind of throw out there was like an Easter egg that was in Abigail that had gone back to Ready or Not. And so maybe we can see both of these characters together in the future, in the next film, you know what I mean?
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay.
if you looked at Abigail, there was a painting of the portrait of her grandfather, and that goes back to Ready or
Ready or
Not.
Not? Oh man, I
Yeah,
gotta watch Ready or Not again.
so was something about I guess, Abigail, I mean, back in Ready or Not, the grandfather made a deal with Abigail's father or something like that.
Hmm.
It was something like that. It was something
Oh,
different that
so we could either see a Ready or Not 2
yeah.
or a crossover.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna probably see with, with
Oh, that would
these
be
two
sick.
actresses together.
That
So,
little girl, we gotta say it. The girl who plays Abigail is amazing.
oh no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, we definitely can't not say that because that is probably one of the best kid performances
Hmm.
I've seen in I don't know how long. Like that was amazing.
Yeah. We've talked about that for the last few years. Like even like the and from the movie The Hatching,
Yeah,
how the girl that was inside that film, that
yeah,
was her first film. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so it was just like, okay,
Oh,
like the like kids these days are definitely just falling into these roles and like definitely killing it. So definitely shout out to her.
yeah. I don't know what they're feeding kids these days, but something.
Shit. Yeah, so moving on next, we have one of our favorite films from growing up
Yep.
and the found footage. You could sit there, say back and forth, some people sit there and say this film started found footage, but it didn't. But it's all right. So we kind of like fell into the same project. I had seen that you DM'd him and I was going to also, but I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if it's too soon. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's too
I
soon.
was trying to catch it before. I was like, maybe it's either before the flood or, or it's going to be too soon and they're
Yeah.
not ready for it. But yeah, it doesn't sound like they're going to be doing any like uh appearances just yet. They're going to kind of let
Yeah.
things settle a little bit. But of course, we're talking about the Blair Witch Project.
Yep.
And yeah, there as we know, because I think we might have posted about it. But Blumhouse and Lionsgate announced that the Blair Witch Project is going to be getting a reboot,
How do you
which
feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. And I said this when I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. I saw this on X, Twitter,
Hmm.
whatever, and I posted about it and I said I don't understand how you make another Blair Witch Project because the thing that actually made Blair Witch Project effective was the fact that we had never seen a Blair Witch Project. So
Exactly.
like now that we already know about it, we know it's not real footage. There's no way to like trick us anymore.
No.
How do you make a movie that lands like that? Because I don't know that every young person would know this, but when Blair Witch Project first came to theaters, their marketing campaign told us that this was a
Oh
real
yeah.
film. This was real footage found, and like our dumb little minds were like, "Oh my god, is this going to be real footage?" It was like when people thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre was really based on a true story. It's like, yeah,
Mm.
they can tell you that. They can lie, that is allowed. Um, but I'll never forget that. I'll never forget going into a packed theater and I had to sit on the side aisle, which is like the worst because you're at an angle.
Mm.
You want to sit, people always try to sit in the middle. I had to sit in the side aisle and like there was like two seats in the side aisle, so like my whole group of people I was with had to like spread out, and
Mm.
I was in the way back, which I hate, and the theater was packed, and I remember just being like, wow, this is amazing. And then that final scene
Did you whisper
just
just
shook
like
me.
that?
I did that final scene just shook me to my core when you
Yeah.
see that person standing with their back turned. Amazing experience. I remember being like scared when I left the theater, like, wow, that
Hmm.
was cool. I'm still whispering as I left the theater. And how do you recreate that?
Yeah. It's I don't think you can. You just leave it alone.
Right.
But like, I have seen it. Like they had part two. Part two couldn't even touch that. You know what I
And
mean? So
there is people who love part two, but part
yeah,
two is like a totally separate entity. You view it in
exactly.
a different way than you view part one. It's an actual movie
Yeah.
versus a
So
found footage movie. Yeah.
exactly. And then, then we have the video game,
Yeah.
so there's like so much layers to it now. And so you can sit
And,
there and see
and
like,
did
all
you
right,
like
let's build off it.
who did the remake? Was that by a known director, wasn't it?
I'm not
I
sure.
should look that up.
Yeah, but like we said, we had so many pieces to this, this little franchise, but now I just feel as though that, Blumhouse, I don't think they should be the ones with it because it's just like
Oh, it was Adam Wingard did the 2016 film. And
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked it,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't like even compare it to the original.
No. No, not at all. You can't. You can't compare anything to the original at all. And so this is why, so but let's get to the main story. Let's
Yeah.
like we everybody has their own thoughts of every film and everything like that. But the main thing is, the crew and everybody, they've been trying to reach out to Lionsgate for years, trying to figure
Mhm.
stuff out, being in the middle of everything, and
We ended up
they were blindsided by this.
Yeah, and we ended up finding out they're not even really getting residuals for
No.
the remake, the video game, I guess. I'm
Hmm.
not sure exactly all the details, but like uh, they were there. I guess this has been something they've been advocating for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Joshua Leonard who kind of took the lead
Yeah.
and was able to kind of get his voice finally heard. And there was an article
On
that
Variety.
released in Variety
Yeah.
about it. And yeah, him, Michael C. Williams, and Heather Donahue are kind of leading this brigade right now to,
Yeah. Because
and
I
I
remember,
think some of the crew members as well, right?
yeah. So I remember like the first day it was like a post about it, like the whole Variety article came out. When the first post came out that the and Lionsgate were doing it, it was just like, okay, but why? And then like the next day, boom, it was all set. And then you get this back story of everything of how they were trying to reach out and trying to like do things
Yeah.
for years, trying to get like a reunion thing going.
Yeah.
And no call back, no emails, no nothing. And then so people end up like hitting them up saying, "Oh, congratulations on the remake of your new film." And he was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then that's how he found out. And so that's definitely, bad news to hear, and it sucks, when you've been trying to sit there and have conversations about things for a few years now and no call back and anything like that, but then you just hear like, oh yeah, that shit's getting remade.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally not fair. And I do hope that, they can kind of make some headway
Yeah.
in this journey, trying to do this, but we will see. We support this though, because
Yeah, definitely.
and the other like for them, their other thing is like just like run this stuff by us. We can offer support. Like they're like, if you're gonna do it, like why
Mm,
not run it by the people who started this whole thing? Which I think is
exactly.
kind of a cool idea. Like get
Yeah.
their stamp of approval, get their input. Like what made it so effective in their opinions? They who would know better than the people that were involved.
Like, oh my God, we actually found these people.
Here
They're
they
alive
are.
still.
Here they are.
Ah, shit. But yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. So hopefully we can get some of the cast and crew on the show to kind of talk about this when they're ready. But
Yep.
right now, it's not the time.
Yes. Yes.
But yep, going on to the next, topic. Just, everybody that enjoyed Alien Day on what was it?
It was the 16th?
26th, the 26th, I
26,
think.
26, 26. Yep.
Yeah, so happy Alien Day for everybody that's big Alien fans. We celebrated the 45th anniversary for the re-release. I was actually able to go check it out in the theaters,
Oh,
and
you went?
yeah, I had gone. Um, so it was cool because I thought it was just going to be the 1 day showing. They kept that thing in there for a
Yeah.
week. I just went to go see it the other day.
Yeah.
So, seen on the last day that they had it in. So it was cool being able to see that film on the big screen. I know we had it last year for Alien Day at the Park Ave Theater, but I think it's not the same. We're not able, when we have events, we're not really locked in to kind of be able to watch the movie and everything like the way
Yeah.
we want to.
Yeah.
So even for years, like, for watching Alien, like for me, my head was just always somewhere else and just kind of like not being able to really pay attention to the movie and do anything, but I enjoyed it, but being able to see this on the big screen, with no phones and everything like that, and just fully tapped in with a full crowd.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to experience that film, and I think that's why so many people fell in love with it when it first came out. So, like even when the film starts off, they have Alvarez and Ridley Scott, sitting there having a conversation and kind of just talking about the film and, how how they made it and stuff like that. And even going into the new Alien film that's going to be releasing in theaters in August on the 16th, talking about that, and just hearing Ridley Scott saying like, like he has a story here. Like this
Yeah.
is a great movie. The trailer dropped last month. We seen that, and that definitely set the tone for everything because it just was on point. It didn't give you too much. It just, it showed us like a little clip. Was it 30 seconds?
It's super short.
It
And it's
showed it
just
last.
face huggers and it's awesome.
Yeah, and that's how you do it.
Yeah.
So,
I am beyond excited for Romulus.
yeah,
I was a fan of Covenant or yeah, Covenant, that what it
yeah,
was, the last one.
yep.
And I know that wasn't like super popular on everyone's list, but like I actually watched that like multiple times. I liked that movie so much.
Hmm.
And that's when I found out I love alien movies.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong. You got, Alvarez has done what, Don't Breathe, uh, Evil Dead, you know.
Hmm.
So he's got some good films behind him. So definitely, definitely hit it. I want to check it out. I can't wait to check it out and see because
Yeah.
this has gotten everybody ready to
Yeah.
kind of go back and watch this because you look at it, it's 45 years.
Little did we know last year we should have just waited a year to show it at one of our screenings. And because we were, we did The Thing the month before, and that had an amazing turnout. We did
Yeah,
Alien, and that turnout was less than The Thing, and we were kind of like, really? I thought
that wasn't our
people.
fault though.
It wasn't our
So I
fault,
didn't want to even go into
but
that because of all the
had we done
nonsense.
it this year, it probably would have. Well, actually, no.
No,
Everyone's
not
at the
really
real
because
theaters.
it was in all the
Yeah,
theaters and stuff
everyone's
like
at real
that. So
theaters. Yeah.
yeah, but
Um, so awesome. Yeah, Alien Romulus, August 16th. I'm very excited for that. Um,
definitely.
some other really exciting news, I guess. Actually, you know what? I guess this could go either way. Some people probably find this exciting. Some people are probably like, "Oh my god."
Yeah,
Um, we got announced that we are getting not just one, but two Evil Dead films. Two, and they're not connected as far as I am aware. They
yeah,
are separate entities. I don't even know really what that is going to look like, but we already knew that there was one coming out by I think that one's going to be connected to Evil Dead Rise, and that's going to be by Sebastian Vanisek, I guess is how you say it. But he's
yeah,
connected to that movie Infested, which is going to
yep.
be hitting theaters soon, which we'll tell you more about at a future month when that's coming out. So he was connected to that already, which we knew.
That's already out, man,
Infested is already out right now.
on Shutter.
Oh, Infested. What am I thinking of? That's not out.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're talking about something else.
I'm
The other
thinking
guy.
of Sting. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. Okay. Infested is already out. Check it out. I didn't,
Sting's
yeah.
already out too.
What the fuck?
Sting was already in theaters. It was in theaters for
I
like a
am
week,
not thinking of
but I missed
either of
it. The
these things,
Sting's gonna
actually.
be releasing on VOD and everything soon, so
Okay.
yeah.
Whatever. My
But
news is not based in facts. So
it's fake news.
it's fake news.
So yeah, if you really go back to it, I guess like if you go into Army of Darkness, there was three books, right? So
Yeah.
this is how it's being broken up. There's three books.
Oh, all right. So then, yeah, they just announced recently there's going to be another film not attached to that
Yeah.
one, and that's going to be with Francis Galuppi,
Yep.
and he is also someone who we will be having on the show very soon. So that's
Hmm.
kind of cool that
Yeah.
we'll be able to talk to him about another film that he's that's going to be released.
Yeah.
Not going to say it because I'll probably say something wrong. So I'll just leave it at that. But all right. So what are you saying? They're gonna have just separate stories of the
Yeah,
Evil
I
Dead?
guess it's original story. So there was this big little argument that's been going around. So some people were saying, I don't want to see a remake. I don't want to see a reboot. And then someone's like, look, there's three books. So they're all being split up. And so this is what they're going, they're their own world. So, take it as that.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
so that's it, so it's just like some people don't want to see another Evil Dead because they see like Rise. I heard someone complaining saying, well, Rise definitely just kind of like ruined my experience from all the other films.
Why?
so be it. But it was a fun film in the theater,
Yeah,
and it's also something else they decided to do. So you can't always be happy. Like every franchise is gonna have a bad movie, and it
I mean,
Rise wasn't that bad.
I enjoyed Rise. It is a prequel because it leads up to
Yeah.
the Evil Dead remake, I guess. Or
Hmm.
I do like this idea. There could be Evil Dead universe. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
as long as they're not trying to bring back Ash in every
Yeah.
film, I think like that's okay. Like you can have a universe without like over overemphasizing like uh version of this character that's beloved that's you're never going to be able to
Exactly.
match the original of.
Hmm.
It's it's doable. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope
Wait.
that would be cool. I would like different stories within the idea of an Evil Dead universe. Why not?
Yeah, if you look at it, like you can't go wrong. There's different books, you know what I
Yep.
mean? So it's like, hey, it's a different chapter, it's this and that, it's something else. So, and that's the way you do it. So,
Okay. All right. Hopefully
it's,
that's what they do. You'll maybe get more info when you
oh
talk
yeah,
to
we'll check it
Francis.
out.
We'll
We'll
see
see.
we'll see what he tells us. He
Yeah,
probably isn't able to tell
has
us
to be
anything, but
tight-lipped right now.
yeah. Other really exciting news. A lot of all right, so we're getting a lot of just like stuff right now that's connected to popular franchises or
Hmm.
previous films. I don't hate this one. Apartment 7A is going to be a prequel to Rosemary's Baby, and that's going to hit Peacock at some point before Halloween, and it's going to star Julia Garner of Ozarks.
Okay, yep. I like her
So
character in those arcs, you know.
yeah,
So
hell yeah,
I would love to see what she can do with this. But here we go again with the same thing with the First Omen.
yeah,
Gotta be
yeah,
open-minded.
yeah.
So I don't want to bash this. I'm not gonna
Um,
sit there and say because I don't want to backtrack.
I'm trying to think if it's behind me somewhere. I mean, there are books to Rosemary's Baby, so
Hmm.
I have one of them. It's like son of something.
Okay.
Is it son of Rosemary? I don't know.
Hmm.
But there's like multiple books I think written by that author. So I don't know if Apartment 7A is gonna connect to a previously written book. I'm not sure, but I'm open to it. Rosemary's Baby is a awesome movie,
Oh no, yeah,
classic,
definitely.
so under talked about and underrated and underappreciated. So again, if you're going to draw light to something that's amazing and also not really like talked about all the time.
Yeah.
So the fact that they'll do this for Rosemary's Baby, that's awesome. Also, when I was looking this up, I was realizing there's been a couple of Rosemary's Baby um, reboots,
Hmm.
and nothing has been able to touch that original. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when you have those films that come out, you know, trying to remake it, it's hard. But like, when we have this prequels and everything, just like the first Omen did, it set the tone. It was
yep,
fine. It was safe. So hopefully with them doing a prequel, we'll get something good, So I don't want to
yep.
say anything bad. I don't want to say anything bad because like I said, I'm not backtracking and saying like, oh, the movie was
No, because
terrible.
there's no reason to in a thing like that because like it's not like we're sitting here and we're like gatekeepers to Rosemary's Baby
Oh
and
no,
like
yeah, definitely.
we'd be fake if we were like, oh, nothing should touch that because like it's not like we've ever really like we've acknowledged it, but we never like go into great detail on Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
We should,
yeah,
but like
it's a great movie.
yeah. So go ahead,
Yeah,
show
we've
us the
seen a
prequel.
lot of our favorite movies remade and rebooted, but
Yeah,
it is what it is. It's you just have to deal with it.
yeah,
So, but I understand like this is a piece of history, like this film right here. Like if you look back at, like we said, 70s horror films or everything like that, whatever, 80s, they're all classics. And then so when you sit there and you go in to try to like recapture that moment like today, it's definitely hard. And like you
yeah,
said, so many films that have been remade or rebooted of it haven't touched it.
yep,
Sometimes like we said, the wrong people have it in their hands because it's
yep.
not the way it's intended. It's a money grab. So hopefully, it's like, the person that's behind this is like a big fan. And like I said,
It's a known person. I forget who what her name is. I
yeah.
should have wrote that down, but
But even
that's
Julia,
funny.
But even
Yeah, just
Julia,
having her
she's
connected
a
is
great
good.
actress, you know. She carried Ozarks, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And though I was just thinking the last time that somebody touched Rosemary's Baby, I think it was a made for TV version of the movie. And I'm trying to remember who the actress was that played her. But it was like modernized and stuff like that. And it just,
Mm,
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was made for TV. So,
yeah. All right.
um,
Well,
oh,
Peacock.
just one more thing. Super interesting is another film about women's reproductive rights.
Yep.
So we're definitely going heavy in 2024 on women's reproductive rights.
Hmm.
Totally understandable. Just very interesting that all these movies are kind of were able to be released in this time. Oh,
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana,
Okay.
you know who that is, right?
Yeah. So
She that was 2014 that they did the last Rosemary's Baby.
2014.
So it's been a bit.
All right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this month also saw a ton of the movies that we were probably nervously anticipating getting moved around a bunch.
Yeah. Getting pushed
So
back.
not super surprising some of the names that we'll throw out here, but it doesn't really build our confidence in a lot of them either because there's really no rhyme or reason to some of them, and actually some of their move dates are on. They're on worse dates. So The Crow. Actually,
Mm,
it's crazy. The Crow was actually going to be released like really soon. It was going to be June 7th. Got moved to
yeah.
August 23rd. And I
I
forget,
think that's not bad though,
it's
because
closer to
August and
Halloween.
then like into September,
Yeah.
so it's like you'll be able to go see that, check it out. But
There's
yeah,
another
when I
big film releasing on August 23rd. I forget what one it is, though.
mm, yeah, but it was funny though because I had seen when they put that news out that it was getting pushed back. People were like, "Why is it getting pushed back?" And then someone kind of made a joke saying, "Oh, Sonic's got to get like touched up again because when Sonic came out, the first trailer, like he looked terrible, and they had to push it back so they can re-image him and fix him up."
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So I don't know
I saw
if
that comment. I didn't get the reference, but now I now I get it.
yeah, but I don't think they're gonna push it back to like change his look though. So
No,
it's
I
like
don't think
that's
so
done.
either. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so it is what it is.
And
Uh
we already shit on that trailer last time, so
it was just too long. I actually when I went to go see Abigail, they finally showed the trailer
they
for
cut it.
that.
Did they cut it a little shorter?
That was the same.
Oh, geez, too long.
Yeah. So
I don't want to sit in the movie theater watching a 5 minute trailer when I'm waiting to see them. There's already way too many trailers these days,
yeah,
but
a lot of people were kind of just like, eh.
yeah,
Like, so even hearing some people that had never seen the trailer, like there was no, oh my God, it was
yeah,
just people like, like,
yeah,
so it wasn't that good.
yeah. This was an interesting one because I wasn't really on my radar too much. I kind of forgot that it was even going to be a thing. Uh,
Yeah.
but The Wolfman, which is going to be by Lee Winnell, it's a Blumhouse movie. It also has Ryan Gosling as an executive producer. That's getting
Mm,
moved from October 25th all the way to January 17th of 2025.
yeah. Um, I guess they don't believe in it because
That's
the
not
Wolfman
great. That's not great
from
news.
October, from being in that Halloween zone, you know what
Right.
I mean, to move to January. Like,
And the same for uh, Saw 11.
yeah. So, but that's not bad. So usually, what
It
was Saw's release date moved
it
to?
was supposed to be October. It got moved into next year.
Okay.
Set like September, I think, of next year. It got moved far. I forget the exact date, but I don't have a reason for that one either. So I'm
Well, I
not
don't even
totally
know if
sure.
they started the
Maybe it's films filming caught up
yeah,
or something.
yeah, they probably have to like go back. That guy's getting old, you know what I mean? So it's like they probably weren't just on pace to kind of
He
like
is young.
give you okay.
He is so young.
When we met him, he couldn't even shake his hand. He was so frail.
As soon as he put his teeth back in, dude, he looked really young. Just kidding.
He's
I'm
like,
just kidding, Tobin.
Wait. I'm like, all right, take it
He
easy,
had a
buddy.
very firm grip on us, a hearty handshake.
I don't think so.
Poor guy.
It's
So
all
yeah,
right.
yeah, that's some movie release date news.
Push back. Get your shit pushed back. So, Yeah. I don't know. I'm hearing that we might get a Happy Death Day Part 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you in for that?
You know, like it's not like the most exciting news ever, but at the same time, I liked both of those films, so I'm down
Yeah.
for it. She's awesome, Jessica Roth, but like, um, I think it's more right now just kind of like up to you know who's connected to that film, what production company. I forget. Is
Wasn't
it
it?
Blumhouse?
It is, I think it's Blumhouse.
I think it
So
is. I think basically she's like, if you guys are up for it, I just need them to greenlight it.
yeah, and I think the money's there because that's like one of their big films, you know. So
We
I
see
I
the
don't
King Baby again, King Babyface.
King Babyface. Isn't that like what was that from like New Orleans, right, or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
the
Yeah,
King Baby Cake, King Cake Baby or something like that. I forget what they
yeah.
call it in New Orleans. If you're from New Orleans, let us know. Correct us, please. We sound ignorant.
Nah, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely another film that gears towards the teens, kids love those films. So
Yeah.
that film, that I think I want to say that franchise kind of is what like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer is for like this generation right here. You know what I mean? So it makes sense to kind of like push it and kind of do it.
I hope it goes darker than the second one though.
Yeah.
I liked the second, but it was too light and like focused more on comedy. The first one had a perfect balance of like slasher meets comedy. The second one
Yeah.
was more comedy.
Well, you got to look at it too because like she has to be done with college, right? The last two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, where's she gonna
so
be? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
So
I hope they keep it in New Orleans. I do like that setting for it. I think that's cool to have like a New Orleans slasher.
yeah,
Keep it.
not bad.
Um,
It's
so I
what
don't know like um if you were a fan of The Pope's Exorcist, which I assumed you were. Did you watch it?
no.
All right, me neither. I see Russell Crowe's face in those posters, and I'm like, ooh. I almost watched it, and then I decided not to. But
Yeah.
everybody was really confused when they released a trailer for the new movie, The Exorcism, which is
Mhm.
gonna star Russell Crowe, and everyone's like, didn't this already happen?
Yeah.
And it was more like the posters were almost identical. I think that's what threw everyone off. Storyline a little bit different. The exorcism is going to be like meta, so it's like an actor in a movie, and then I guess like exorcism stuff's going to start to happen.
Hmm.
So that trailer came out. We released that on our page and all that stuff. And some people were like, "Oh, it's a cool premise." I agree. It just
Yeah.
it's a little weird that he does two Exorcist movies and like
Needed the
like
money.
a year. But then I just read they just greenlit the Pope's Exorcist 2 with a picture of him on his little like,
Vespa.
Vespa. So so he's gonna be in a third exorcism movie
Hmm.
um within, a very short time frame.
Yeah.
So and I didn't know that people actually liked the Pope's Exorcist.
I heard people who enjoyed it. So like that was
Really?
the thing. So I was like, like even the guys from Guts, they were kind of talking about it, but they were just laughing like about him on his Vespa and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So um yeah, we just had so many fucking movies like lined up and stacked up. Like that just wasn't one. Like I would have
No,
went out to
it
the
came
theater
out
for that.
exactly. It came out at a weird time. Like there's
Yeah.
others, it wasn't that exciting. And then it snuck really quick. I think it's on Netflix,
Yeah.
and it snuck on there because I didn't even realize it had been released, and suddenly it was on my queue. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll get
I don't
to it.
know. So, well, I'll check it out. I'll check it out, but
Yeah, I feel like I have to now.
yeah, because it's getting like all these films like so
Yeah,
quickly getting
Russell
greenlit.
Russell
Russell Crowe.
Crowe is the exorcism master.
Russell Crowe's just gonna start just taking over horror. He's just gonna getting shit greenlit. Some of your favorite movies.
Green
So,
vomit lit. Hopefully,
nah,
it's pea
shit.
soup. Everyone, it's pea soup.
It's pea soup.
I just had
Got
one
something else? Some
more.
more news?
Yeah, I had one more like interesting tidbit that I was kind of excited about. So I've been kind of notoriously not excited about all these like fairy tale Disney movies turning into
Yep.
horror movies. But then something kind of caught my eye, and I was like, I'll give this one a try. So Oswald Down the Rabbit Hole is
Mm,
going to be based on obviously Oswald the rabbit, who is the version of Mickey Mouse before he was Mickey Mouse.
hmm.
And Ernie freaking Hudson is going to be attached to that film playing Oswald, I guess, like
No,
the
okay.
artist that made Oswald, but then I think he might even turn into Oswald.
Mm,
And it's gonna have like this other. Somehow he comes to life, or he goes into
yeah,
this other universe. But it's Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters.
that's
I mean,
cool.
that's so
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Um,
cool. Well, I'm happy he's been getting like a lot of good roles and stuff. Like he has a cool TV show with Miguel Nunez and everyone on
oh yeah,
BET and stuff like that. I think it's called like The Family Business and stuff like that.
cool.
But like didn't even realize for so many years when Ernie Hudson was connected to Ghostbusters, he really didn't get the same pay shit on the pay as everybody else. It was just kind of like treated like really different from everybody else in the film. So it's cool to see him,
Yeah,
do well. And then actually out of all of them, he's the one that looks like he doesn't need to be in a senior home or anything like that. He's
yeah,
doing
he
well.
looks
The guy,
good. I know he looks
but
good.
like, what's he like 70 or some
Yeah,
shit?
he's got to
It's
be
like
up
fucking
there.
jacked up and shit.
I
So
know, I know. It's funny because you
yeah,
see the rest of them, and
yeah,
they
Bill,
all look old.
yeah, Bill's hurting.
Uh,
Did you even see the Ghostbusters? Like,
I
hey, we
didn't.
gotta
Yeah,
bring that
I
back
missed it.
because
I missed that one.
Ghostbusters came out in March too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
April. One of them, I think it was March. But yeah, like I talked about that film with a few people, and I like the Afterlife one better. This one was decent,
Hmm.
but it is what it
I
is.
just caught Afterlife like somewhat recently.
Did you like it?
It was okay. It,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
the Afterlife is better than this one. But
Yeah. So, and then you had told me that, so I was like, all right, that's good to know.
yeah, me and Angel talked about it. He was like, it reminded him of one of the cartoon episodes, and I was just like, yeah, it definitely did. After you look
Okay.
back at it, it's like,
Yep.
okay, it definitely did. But it wasn't bad, but I just think that like right now after this film, after that Ghostbusters film, they need to take a break from it.
Yep.
Take a
They did
break.
an awesome thing for the premiere. So they have the Ghostbusters headquarters in New York City, which is
Yep.
an active fire station, and they made it look frozen. So they had like this stuff going up the walls and onto the sidewalk that actually like that light blue to make it look like it had frozen over. And it was really cool. It was like that for like about a week. I actually went to New York City and just missed it.
Missed it.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna see that. And I wanted to take some pictures for our page, and they'd like taken it down like probably a day or two
Psych.
before that. Yeah, so that was kind of disappointing.
But yeah, man, we've been talking about it. Like so many people, like they've been going hard on, and promoting these films. So even the First Omen had something cool too, like with at the church setup of it, they go
Yes,
in and they had the nuns and everybody out there. Shout out to
Immaculate
Zero. Yep.
had done the thing in at South by Southwest, and she had her gang of nuns with her. So
And even in California right now, they got fucking apes riding around on horses. Did you see that?
no,
Just out of
I gotta look
nowhere.
at that.
Like
That's
it's
cool.
crazy because some people don't even know what the hell it's doing. It just
Yeah.
riding around on horses, like, and then shit, it's like to promote like Planet of the Apes that's coming out. So
Will we talk about that on here?
I think we can.
Like,
Doesn't
because
matter. We can.
like I noticed other horror publications are posting about Planet of the Apes, so I'm like,
Mm,
and I'm
it's
gonna
not
go
that.
see it.
Oh yeah,
I'm kind of
definitely.
excited for it. So
Have
yeah,
you? Are you all caught up on all of them though?
yeah,
Or
yeah. I'm pretty
okay.
sure I saw all of them.
All
Yep.
right. Yeah.
So that's
All
coming
right.
this month.
All right.
Oh, Tarot came out. Well, we're
Today
recording today.
came out
Um,
today.
so we'll talk about that in the next month recap.
I
Tell you
heard
how
some
amazing that
decent
film
things.
is.
I heard it got some practical effects in there. I heard.
Tarot.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
feel
heard.
like that's going to be a sleeper film. Because like I know me and you when we saw that preview, we're kind of like, but I feel like it's going to be a sleeper.
Let me see something. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go to Letterbox and see what some people are saying.
Oh boy,
Let's
I'm
see.
going to eat my words real quick.
I'm seeing some good shit so far, huh?
Okay.
Um, let's see. Terrell gave it 3 stars. So honestly, 3 stars isn't bad for that. I thought that would get like a 2 or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm seeing 3.5, 2.5, 2, 2, 3, 2.5, 4. I think that person probably wrote the film
Yeah.
half a star,
They
one
couldn't
and a
even give a
half
size.
stars, 3.5, 1. Hmm.
Okay. You know,
Somebody
it's
put it was really terrible.
heritable. Oh,
What
it's
the fuck?
heritable. I
Oh, what the fuck?
think that's a compliment, actually.
Uh, uh,
Sounds like it's going to be a mixed bag.
yeah, I'm
So,
seeing 3 stars. So the most don't go into it thinking too much, but hey, it is what it is. The trailers and everything like that just kind of seemed like whatever what made just kind of like we were saying before with Abigail, but we were surprised. Maybe,
who
maybe,
knows?
hey,
I mean,
three
it,
out of
it, it reminds me of Truth or Dare.
yeah, yeah, definitely did.
So, that's kind of what I'm
Yep.
expecting, but we'll see.
All right. Also, shout out to Salem Horror Fest. They kicked off their new convention and everything like that with the films and screenings. So we missed the first week. Hopefully we can make it down for the second week. Kind of check that out. So
Linnea
Linnea
Quigley.
Quigley
Yeah.
kicked it off opening night and played The People's Joker. I'm hearing good things about that film, so that's something that I want to check that out. I think they're gonna close the show with that too on the last night. So
The, and I'm trying to think what day it is, either Saturday or Sunday this weekend.
yep,
Alice McKay Mayo's Carnage Christmas is going to be screening, which I was very excited to eventually check out. So if people are able to make it to see that, I would definitely recommend. I'm hearing great things. And, I think that Alice has just pumped out one good movie after another. I've always heard,
yeah,
nothing but good reviews. And I didn't get to check out T Blockers yet, but I heard that was really awesome. And then there was Bad Girl Boogie, was So
yep,
Vamp. That was the first one. I mean, just doing a lot of cool things. So that's one of the highlights that I was hoping to see at some point.
yeah. And to even kind of go back to a little bit on promotion and everything that we were kind of talking about, like all these films. Terrifier 3, we just talked about that the other day. The release date was kind of pushed out for that,
Yeah, yeah.
and fans are going crazy and they are demanding a Terrifier popcorn bucket holder of Art the Clown's head. Would you be down for that?
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully we get something like that because I know Cinemark's been killing it, but even Showcase has been killing it with a lot of things. But I want to see more. Like with more things presented to people to kind of go in and to collect a little bit more now.
You know,
When
I think we need to really push this to showcase because you're
yeah,
right. Cinemark has been killing it with the buckets. I saw the Slimer one
yeah,
when I went to Cinemark, and I was like, damn, that Slimer one is pretty cool.
yeah, and
Mon
even the proton pack thing, or like the little fucking not the little fucking ghost holder thing. Like they
there,
had that as a popcorn bucket holder.
yeah,
I'm like, what the
there's
fuck?
some doing some cool stuff. Showcase, come on, let's get you in here. Let's do the Art the Clown head as your bucket.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
And also again, with more promotion, the Watchers.
Yes.
So they have a website. It's called areyoutwatching.com. And if you go onto the website, it's kind of like really creepy. So it's like you're watching the people in the fucking glass house
Oh, really?
and you can like tap on shit and everything like that and like turn TVs on and shit. And depending on what time of day it is, there's like it's all different things. So I think it's linked up with like live time.
Okay.
So like if you go onto the website now, it's probably dark and shit. So it's giving you that
I'll
feel
have to
of
check
like
that
what's
out.
going
That's
on. So
yeah.
yeah, so definitely check it out. Like promotion and everything is like definitely stepping up. And so that's definitely another movie that's coming out that I want to check out.
Yeah, the preview looked good for that for sure.
Yeah. Shit, we just gotta keep pumping these shits out. Scary Movie 6. Are you ready for that?
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Melissa wants to be a part of that from Scream. She wants
Oh,
to be in
really?
it. Yeah.
I could picture that. That makes
So,
sense. Like she's very like hot right
Yeah.
now. So I could picture that. I could picture them going with someone like that
Yeah.
and the connection to the Scream films. So
Invisible Man too.
okay.
I don't know. I'm down for it. The first one was a classic, but yeah, we just
Where do you I don't know where they're gonna go with it, but he just
yeah,
comes back, I guess.
comes back again. Sometimes they come back.
Is
That's what they need to
any
remake. Sometimes they come
sometimes they
back.
come back, I know. Sometimes they come back again. Sometimes they come back for more.
Classics. The third one was so fucking cheesy. You could tell that was like the it was the 90s one when it was like a TV series movie or some shit.
Yeah,
But you could
yeah.
tell like the acting and everything like that. So it was just like
Was there
still good.
someone in that that was like was not like
I
Mark Paul
can't remember.
Gosselaar or
Yeah,
something like that?
I can't remember the name, but someone
Yeah,
that stood out and
someone's
it
in
was
it.
kind of just like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Is what's her name attached to Invisible Man too? From Handmaid's Tale.
I think she is. I think she's locked in. So might as
Okay.
well be, right?
I mean, she's a awesome actress. As long as they get a good storyline, I'm sure she'll do wonders with it. So
Yeah. All
what else we
right.
got? What else we
Well,
got?
I think that's about it, man, because everything else, we don't need to sit there and force anything else. This has been a crazy
Just
fucking month.
so just for like excitement
Mm.
building, I know there's one last thing that is coming out and it's coming out very soon. When is The Strangers coming out? Because I've been posting about this movie for freaking ever. I feel like May 17th.
Yeah, it's
Tickets
one
are
of
on
those
sale now.
now
If you guys want to, I mean, I don't know why you need to get your tickets this early. People do it, I guess. I guess
pre-order them. It's gonna be
I mean,
crazy.
I'm just gonna do it on the day of, like a normal person. But I mean, if you want to get your ticket today for May 17th, please be my guest. Am I nuts for thinking that's like not needed? But
I think for us it's a little bit different. I think that we might need to kind of do it because for our card that we have,
yeah, yeah.
so we can't pre-order anything like that. So you can
I
probably
can't. I've never like pre-ordered a movie ticket,
no,
but
but I'm
nothing I
saying like
go to
for our
sells out.
season pass, we can
Yeah,
kind of like get the ticket
I
set
don't go to
because we
like
gotta go sign in and shit.
I feel like maybe if it was an Avengers movie because I know people go nuts over those, right? Do people still
They
like?
fell off,
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of
but
like a movie that would be like sold out to the capacity these days.
I think Deadpool will be though. The
Oh
Avengers
yeah,
movies
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
fell off and
That's
everything like
true.
that, but
Yep.
Deadpool and Wolverine, I can see
People
that's gonna
love
be
that stuff.
crazy. That's gonna
Yeah.
bring Marvel back. So
Yeah.
yeah, pre-order the tickets. Showcase Cinemas. And while you're at
Pre-order.
it, get to subscribe. And if you don't have enough money and you're broke and everything like that, not broke, but go on to Tuesday,
Yeah.
bargain Tuesday, $5 tickets. You can get $5 tickets if you're a Star Pass holder. A Star Pass holder is free to sign up. You know,
Okay.
so there you
Yeah.
go. And you also get 35% off popcorn, treats, and all that other shit on
All
Tuesdays.
those goodies. Oh, and you got to get, I know Brandon's going to tell you the other one. I'm going to tell you. I got it again this time. That Cheetos popcorn.
Yeah.
I actually do love it. I got it again.
Was
I
it
was like,
better?
it was better because it didn't have pieces of the Oreo popcorn
Yeah,
mixed
he
in this
fucked you
time.
up. That person fucked
Like,
you up.
why would you put that in a
He took
cheese
the
popcorn?
Oreo scoop and then put it inside the popcorn.
Yeah, that guy messed with me. But you love that Oreo one you were
Yeah, the
saying?
Oreo one's fire. Definitely
Ah,
get the Oreo one. You haven't had it yet?
no, I'm obsessed with cheese stuff. Like anything with cheese on it, I'm like, oh, I have to have it. If I have to
Yeah.
like if I had two options and one has cheese on it, I'm always gonna pick the cheese. I just can't help it because I'll think
Also,
about that later.
what did you think about the Slimer slushy?
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
would get
bad.
that again. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, maybe I'll stop sneaking in drinks so I can just get this next time.
You sneak drinks in?
No,
Fucking going to hell.
you go to hell. You go to
Eh,
hell, guy.
this guy is sneaking drinks into hell.
You son of a bitch.
Nah, shit. All right, let's break this down.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, April was a pretty packed month, so lots for us to cover here. We'll see you again, well, next week, but we'll do our next recap after May, and I'm sure May is going to be pretty loaded as well. So we'll have
Yeah.
plenty of info to give you guys. See you later.
All right, take it easy.